When a golf cart dealer focuses on fun, you know you can't lose.
GolfCartingTV is your inside source for the coolest upgrades, mods, and accessories to take your trusty golf cart from drab to fab.
Hey, and welcome back to Golf Karting TV. My name is Matt with Converted Carts. Thrilled to have you back today. So in today's video, we are doing a dealer highlight, and we are talking to Paul Sprates from Resort Life Carts out in California. And their whole goal is focusing on fun. And so let's jump into this conversation and learn a little bit more about these guys. I think they have a great story and something you're going to enjoy taking a listen to. This is Paul Sprates from Resort Life Carts out in California. Welcome, Paul. Thanks for being with us today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So want to start with the basic question. Can you tell us your story? I know you're fairly new, so give us a little bit about how in the world you got into this business, and just start from there.
Try to give a little Reader's Digest version because I'm a little long-winded sometimes. But the moral of the story is that my wife and I have another business that I'm blessed that I don't work a lot of hours in annually, and usually about 4 or 5 months a year. And with that, I'm also a car guy. Historically, I owned a chain of stores that did customizing for automotive for light trucks for over 25 years and live and breathe custom. So bought a golf cart for fun, and neighbor walked by and asked me if I wanted to sell it one day, and I thought, and I did. And the next thing I sold over 50 carts out of my garage inside of a year.
Wow.
Told my wife, not like many other guys, I understand that this is how they've started, but told my wife, I'm like, we're on to something. And so a couple of weeks later, a building opened up literally a mile from my front door of my home. Dropped by, made a deal, and next thing we know, we're going into business. And we opened up on November 1st of last year. So we're not actually even a year old at the moment. We've sold over 220 carts in this last 11 months. Absolutely amazing opportunity. We've got on with the #1 brand in the country right now with Icon and Epic. We are exclusive to this brand. You can see an older Easy Go over my shoulder here that I still build customs for fun. That's a big part of what we do. We do a lot of customizing, but we don't go extreme. We do garage custom kind of feels for customers with custom wheels and audio and all the fun things. But we have continued to push to grow. We now have 2 locations, over 10 employees. I'm basically repeating some of what I did in my past life in terms of building a business, and been really lucky having some amazing teammates, including my wife, who's really the one that helped me get this started.
Awesome. Well, what do you love about the golf cart industry? I know, coming from the automotive and kind of custom build side of things, what is it that stands out to you that you kind of got into and maybe sucked you in on the golf cart side?
Well, originally for me, like I mentioned, is the big part for me is that I'm an enthusiast before a businessman, and the big part is that you can play with them, you can customize them. So that's where I originally started with. I also too, though, my natural business wants and things I'd like to do, I found myself watching the leaders out there, and there's a lot of big ones out there, especially on the Florida and this South Carolina, North Carolina, and Texas and so on. I started watching this, and I'm thinking, there's something more to this. And so I love people. We're blessed with having a lot of great relationships, and so it just fires me up to blend both of them together, because we're providing a service, but also to get to show some personality still. We've taken a lot of personality out of cars in the last number of years, the way of the world with a lot of the things that are going on. So this is a fun part for me to really still have that personality, but yet still be a contemporary.
Yeah. So you mentioned a couple of brands. So what's your top selling brand or brands, and what is it about those that you like? Maybe why are you selling those brands versus all the other options that you had out there? And just tell me a little bit about the carts themselves.
So I started with another brand that is just a small brand that it helped us launch out, and I wasn't super impressed with, but it was a start. And I had reached out to Icon early in the game because they were not in California at the moment, and I like to follow the leaders. That's a big part for me, and it felt like that Icon was breaking the ice big time. And so as I saw that coming, and I kept in contact with the sales reps and even ownership, to be honest with you. And so with that, I was able and lucky enough to latch on to that program, and we came to an agreement. I am an exclusive dealer for Icon and Epic as a whole. We don't carry any other brands like a lot of other dealers out there that do multi-line. My goal is to build a car dealership model, and so I didn't want to have a bunch of different choices for our customers to get confused, and actually even hard to support properly. So
Gotcha.
love them.
So what do you love about that particular brand? You know, as far as those, you know, what they offer, and again, relative to anybody else, or just on their own? What's so special about those?
The big part I love about them is just consistency. So the product is fabulous. The quality of the product as a whole, and then they're learning just like every other brand. So they're adding more and more options for accessories and so on. Their Epic brand is now almost exceeding sales to Icon, because the Epic is much automotive, much more luxurious stylistically, and competes with the top brands like Tomberlin and etc. And so we love being able to have options, a sporty model and a luxury version, and growing on that. So the quality has been fabulous. You know, every brand has its nuances here and there, but the manufacturer's been a great supportive of it. Had a long conversation with the ownership of Icon yesterday, just talking about how that looks. So I think it's been great for us. You know, people have latched, you know, you keep using that word, but caught up with us and believe in what we're presenting to them, and hope we're presenting it properly, and it's having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. So when somebody's coming to you and they're looking, maybe they've looked at other carts, or maybe this is the first time they're looking, and like, what do you try to tell them? It might be like, what's the most important thing they should be thinking about whenever they're buying a cart? Like or maybe there's a couple of questions or something that you lead them down to kind of make sure that they're buying the right thing.
I think a lot of them for me is that, so I've trained salespeople over the years, and I've worked with Toyota and Ford over the years on some other projects. And one thing, you need to know your products, and you need to know what you're comparing to. And the big thing for us is Icon does a great job with 4-wheel disc brakes, McPherson struts, adjustable coilovers on Epics. I mean, luxury ride. You got to compare what you're comparing to. A lot of the manufacturers out there are kicking golf carts out, and these are not necessarily golf carts. They're more little cars. So we relay that to the customer. We show them the differences between a golf cart and actually we call LSV or NEV vehicle. So we don't sell a whole lot of golf cart models. That's really, in our area, is not supported well. There's private cars on the courses. So for us, is a big part of promoting safety and also the reliability of the cart itself.
So when you say golf cart, so as opposed to using it on a golf course, these are more, you know, just on the street. Yeah.
Yeah, we promote ourselves as a street legal dealership, actually, to be honest with you. That's our primary focus, is to be in the new lane. There's no secret California is pushing electric. And so it's been a natural part of carts. So there's no big change there. I know gas is, other parts of the country still exist, but out here, they're slim to none. So
I'm sure
it's an easy transition and affordable cost of driving too.
Yeah, and a lot of them, I mean, even nowadays, you know, a lot of them are just offering front-facing, you know, 2 rows, 4-seaters, but front-facing seats, right? Because there's no need to have a place for golf clubs or any of that kind of stuff. So it is actually changing for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you hear? What do you hear from customers all the time? I mean, what's it whenever you hear somebody say something that like just kind of gets to your heart, you know, to your core about what makes you happy about what you're doing. And, you know, when you hear, whether you overhear something or somebody has experienced a sale or bought something from you, and then they say something back to you, like, what is that thing that kind of makes you feel really good?
You know, the funniest thing for us, and this is, my wife and I talk about this quite often, is that uniquely the number one word, single word that everybody uses when they walk up to a cart or they've ridden in a cart or whatever, they say, "That's fun," or "Wow, that was fun." And it sounds funny to use that little single word, but we've also now pivoted off that and recognized that these carts are actually creating family again. I mean, it's oddly enough to think that we have people, and like I said, we're focused on NEV and local usages in terms of our neighborhoods and our communities, but people want to drive them to work, and they're doing things, and they're driving their kids to school, and they're running around with their Christmas parades, and they're having a great time, and they're having fun. And we love the thought that families coming back together. We got kids learning to drive again, which I think we've had a big burp of kids over the years, the last few years especially, that have not been exposed to cars. So as an enthusiast about four wheels, we think that's family thing is pretty amazing.
That's true. I read something somewhere about just these golf cart communities where it builds better and more community because you're in an open vehicle. So you're waving, you're more likely to have a conversation as you're driving by somebody on the sidewalk, or that kind of thing. So, and I have one here. I'm in Ohio, but we're not officially a big community or anything that has golf carts. But I find myself, I'm driving down, and people are just looking because they don't see a lot of them. So they're like, "What's going on?" But it gives me a chance to wave and say hi, and people will ask about it. And so yeah, I think that's a great point. And fun is absolutely. That's absolutely a big deal.
Well, it sucked us in quickly when we had our first cart. When in our development, we are in a brand new housing development that actually is being recognized for the top new community in the country, called Tesoro Viejo, and that community is really pivoting. And the ownership never started this community as a karting community, but now is latching onto how that looks and recognizing that community is exactly the word. So yeah, you see in your friends and your neighbors, and it's like, oh, look at their cart, and oh, that's fun, or hey, our parade's coming up and we're so excited, or it does create that sense of community again. So California has never had a lot of that because based a lot of how our communities are as a whole. We're high density in some areas. We're in the Central Valley of Fresno. We're a little spread out, but we're still a big city, and so we've got different areas that have really grabbed it and then use it, and so it's growing. I mean, it's growing for sure. We've been really lucky.
Yeah, that's neat. And so location wise, I know you've got 2 locations now. What does the future look like for you guys? where's Resort Life Carts going from here? Well,
I don't want to grow too fast. 2 stores is enough at the moment, but we're already in conversation with another region. We're hoping to not get too big, but we want to be able to repeat the model of what we do. So it's all about people, as we know. If I don't get the right people, it's not going to happen, because for us, we wanted the continuity of what we present our customers. We're very white glove and very concierge mentality. And so a big part of that for us is relationships. We want our customers to feel like they're part of something with us, with Resort Life. And so it's like you said, it's a community piece. It's people recognize that when they see the Resort Life sticker on their windshield, they're like, oh, you bought your cart there, right? You want them to feel like you were part of that. So as we grow, it may not be bigger, more locations, but hopefully larger and more refined. That's the big goal.
That's awesome. So I really appreciate you coming on today. I think this has been great. You want to tell me, I do have a little clicker I'll run across the thing for your website, but you want to just tell us a little bit about what's the best place to find you? Where do you maybe spend the most time on social media? And resortlifecarts.com, obviously, and then at Resort Life Carts. But anything else you want to share as far as social media goes?
Well, Facebook and Instagram is where it's at now. I've got an amazing social media team and that work with us and guide us through this, and we work really hard at being present in that. And that once again is a big part for who we are, and we recognize how the social and also the community circulates on that. Finding us is www.resortlifecarts.com, which is still in maturation. We're learning to have a good website too. So that's all the different tools you use nowadays to be in business. But the best part, call us. Or come by. We have 2 locations in the community. We're centered well in both Fresno and Madera, and not hard to find. We work hard on being present. Well, thank you so much, Paul, for joining us today. This was great. I think you've offered a lot of value, and again, just understanding and knowing what you guys are doing. And then like I said, I've been watching you a little bit on social media for a little while, and impressed with the way that you do it. And I think it comes across as customers first. So it's what you're trying to say. So yeah, definitely is coming across that way. So well done there. Awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We look forward to helping you anytime in the future. Thanks.